Okay, picture this. You're an SME owner. A customer's on your site, they're ready to buy, they hit pay, and ugh, payment failed.
Yeah, that horrible moment. Frustrating for them, definitely.
And it hits your bottom line, right?
Right.
Directly.
Absolutely. And, it happens more often than people think. So today, we want to dig into why.
Right, why it happens, and maybe more importantly, what businesses can actually do about it.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's start with the basics then. What exactly is a payment failure? What does that mean?
Well, simply put, it's just any attempt to complete a transaction that doesn't succeed.
Yeah.
It fails.
Okay.
But there's a key difference, actually. Every payment decline, like when a card is outright rejected by the bank, that's a failure. But not every failure is a decline. Sometimes it's more technical, like a system glitch, not the bank saying no.
Ah, interesting distinction. Okay, so what are the common culprits then? Why do these things fail?
Well, they tend to fall into a few buckets. First, you've got technical issues,
Like the website crashing?
sort of.
Huh?
Could be the payment gateway having a wobble, the connection timing out, maybe just network problems somewhere along the line.
Okay. Technical stuff. What else?
Then there's good old user error. Happens all the time.
Like typos.
Exactly. Typing the card number wrong, getting the expiry date mixed up, or just not having enough money in the account.
Ah, insufficient funds. Yeah.
Right. You might see specific codes for these, like code 51 for insufficient funds, code 54 if the card's expired, or sometimes just a blunt code 05, do not honor.
Do not honor. Ouch. Okay.
Ah.
Any other big category?
Yep. The third is around risk and security. The transaction might look fishy to the systems, maybe suspected fraud.
Or the card's just been blocked.
Or the card's blocked. Exactly. So technical, user error, and security concerns.
Got it. That paints a pretty clear picture. But what's the actual, impact on a small business? It feels bigger than just losing that one sale.
Oh, it absolutely is. Way bigger. First off, customer experience is just annoying, right?
Totally. I've abandoned carts for less.
Exactly. So you might just give up, maybe go to a competitor. That damages loyalty right there.
Okay, so lost sale now, maybe lost customer forever.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And then there's the direct revenue hit. Obviously, the lost sale from that initial attempt, what we call a CIT or customer-initiated transaction.
Right.
But if you do subscriptions, like MITs, merchant-initiated transactions, a failed payment can mean involuntary churn. The customer didn't want to leave, but their payment failed. That really hits your customer lifetime value.
Yeah, involuntary churn is painful. Any other impacts?
Definitely. Think about your operational costs. Your customer service team might get tied up dealing with payment queries.
Why didn't my payment go through?
Yeah.
Right. Investigating what went wrong.
Mm.
And sometimes you even pay fees for the failed transaction or for trying again. It all adds up.
Okay, it's clearly a problem worth solving. Let's get practical then. What strategies can SMEs actually use to, fight back?
Right. This is where you can really make a difference. One really effective thing is using a multi-processor strategy.
Multi-processor, meaning?
Meaning you don't rely on just one company to process all your payments. Have options.
Do they perform differently?
They absolutely do. Approval rates can vary quite a bit depending on the region, the card type, lots of factors.
Right.
A processor that works great in France might not be the best in Singapore.
Ah, okay. So you route the payment to the processor most likely to succeed for that specific transaction.
That's the idea. Hedge your bets, essentially. Optimize your chances.
Smart. Okay, what else is in the toolbox?
Utilizing fallbacks. This is crucial.
Fallbacks, like a backup plan.
Exactly. If a payment fails for a temporary reason, what's often called a soft decline, maybe a temporary network issue, you can set things up to automatically retry it. Maybe instantly, maybe through a different processor. Primer's data, for example, show this kind of fallback can recover 20% of initially failed payments on average.
Wow, 20% recovery just by automatically retrying. That's significant.
It really is. It's like an automatic safety net.
Okay.
But important note, this is mainly for those soft declines.
Okay, multiprocessor, fallbacks, any other, quick wins?
Definitely. Offer more payment methods. Seems obvious, maybe.
But important, if my main card fails, let me use PayPal or something else.
Exactly. Give alternatives. Plus, some methods just naturally have higher approval rates than others, so variety helps cover your bases.
Okay, makes sense. What about the fraud side?
Well, you need to block fraud, obviously. But if your rules are too strict, you end up blocking legitimate customers. Those are called false declines, and they're really costly.
Yeah, you lose a good customer and the sale.
Right. So you need to regularly look at why payments are failing and tweak those rules. Don't just set and forget.
Good advice. Anything on the tech side SMEs should know about?
Yeah. Consider using network tokens.
Network tokens, what are those?
They basically replace the sensitive card details, like the long card number, with a unique token, a secure identifier.
Okay, why is that better?
It gives the bank issuing the card more data to securely verify the transaction. This reduces fraud risk and often increases the chances the payment gets authorized. Visa, for instance, saw like an average 3% lift in authorization rates with tokens.
Okay, 3% might not sound huge, but across all transactions.
It adds up, definitely. And one last thing. Think about the data you ask for at checkout.
Like billing address, name.
Yeah. Including more billing info can help the banks make better decisions.
Right.
But you have to be careful. Too many fields, people get annoyed, they abandon the cart. So find that sweet spot, enough info for security, but not so much it kills the conversion.
Okay, so pulling it all together, the big picture seems to be that SMEs really need to understand why payments fail and then be proactive. Use tech, think about the customer journey.
That's it exactly. It's not just one magic bullet. It's a mix of technology like multiprocessors and fallbacks, focusing on making it easy and secure for customers and constantly, monitoring and tweaking things based on your own data.
Really insightful stuff. So for you listening right now, maybe take a second. Think about your own payment setup. Which of these ideas could you actually put into practice?
Yeah, and maybe consider which type of failure might be hurting your business the most right now. That could point you where to focus first.